Hello friends! Today we are doing Wit and Wisdom Module 0 Lesson 2 and we are going to read Wimbly Worried. I want you to look at the picture of the cover of our book that we're going to read today, and I want you to notice what are some things that you notice about this book cover. Take a minute and just think really hard with your brain about what do you notice. Good, I can tell your brain's really working. I want you to pause your video and tell somebody that is near you what you notice about the book cover, about our book that we're going to read. So go ahead and pause the video and tell somebody what you notice about our book. Good, those were great. So something that I notice is that she looks kind of scared. Maybe that she's holding on to her stuffed animal. She's not really sure what to expect. I notice that she has one white ear and one black ear. I notice that there's lots of colors on our book cover, and maybe you notice some of the same things, or maybe you notice something different. We're always noticing when we are reading. It's important that we notice different things that are going on with our book. It's going to help us to become better readers. So let's look at our question. We have our essential question. So that is our big question. What do you notice about these questions? Well, these are questions that we heard yesterday. We've heard these questions before. Those are the same questions that we talked about yesterday. So remember, the essential question is the big question that we're going to talk about for several different weeks. We also have the content framing question, the focusing question. Those are going to be questions that might take us one day, one lesson to focus on. So when we look at our essential question, it says, how does reading help us learn? I want you to read that with me. How does reading help us learn? So that is our big question. And we are trying to figure out how reading helps us learn. So every time we're doing these lessons, you're thinking about how is this helping us learn? Our focusing question for today is what is happening in the text. When we say text, that means our story, our words that we're reading. So what is happening in the text? Read that with me. What is happening in the text? So we are going to read our story, and when we are reading that story, I want you to notice, and I want you to wonder, and I want you to think about what is happening in our story. So we are going to read Wimbly Worried, and this is one of my favorite books that we get to read. So Wimbly Worried, this is our cover page. Our author is Kevin Hincks. This is our spine. We have our front cover, and we have our back cover. Wimbly Worried. Wimbly worried about everything. Big things, little things, and things in between. Wimbly worried in the morning, she worried at night, and she worried throughout the day. "Oh, you worry too much," said her mother. "When you worry, I worry," said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. At home, Wimberly worried about the tree in the front yard. What if it falls on our house? And the crack in the living room? What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it? And the noise the radiator made. What if there's a snake inside? That's the radiator. At the playground, Wimberly worried about the chains on the swing, and the bolts on the slide, and the bars on the jungle gym. And always she worried about her doll Petal. Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? I'll wait for Petal. Petal's lost forever. I found her. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wimberly worried. She worried and worried. When Wimberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears. Wimberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears at all. On her birthday, Wimberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, said her mother, there was nothing to worry about. This is the best present ever. I wish I had my birthday every day. But then Wimberly worried there wouldn't be enough cake. On Halloween, Wimberly worried that there would be too many butterflies in the neighborhood parade. See, said her father, there was nothing to worry about. But then Wimberly worried because she was the only one. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. Soon, Wimberly had a new school. Wimberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about before. By the time the first day arrived, Wimberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher is mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wimberly worried. She worried and she worried and she worried all the way there. Have fun. While Wimberly's parents talked to the teacher, Miss Peachum, Wimberly looked around the room. Then Miss Peachum said, Wimberly, there's someone I think you should meet. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes. She was holding a doll. At first, Wimberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. This is Petal, said Wimberly. This is Niblet, said Jewel. Petal waved. Niblet waved back. Hi, said Petal. Hi, said Niblet. I rub her ears, said Wimberly. I rub her nose, said Jewel. Throughout the morning, Wimberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together whenever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Wimberly worried, but no more than usual, and sometimes even less. Before Wimberly knew it, it was time to go home. Come back tomorrow, called Miss Peachum as the students walked out the door. Wimberly turned and smiled and waved. I will, she said. Don't worry. and she didn't worry. I love that story because it talks about worrying and when she was at a new school, and a lot of you may not be at the school, but this is a new experience for you, and so it can be scary and maybe you are worrying. So what we are going to talk about is vocabulary. So we're going to talk about the word worry. So you are going to pause the video and go get your yellow journal. And that's what you're going to do your activity in. And we are going to do a vocabulary journal. So pause the video, go get your yellow journal and a pen. All right, so you should have your yellow book. And I'm going to use my piece of paper. And I want you to see if mom or dad or grandma or somebody could help you. And you're going to open up to the first page and you're going to write vocabulary. And then you're going to write word and meaning. And you can pause the video right here so you can see this and leave it up as long as you need to. So what we're going to do is our word today is going to be worry. Okay, so we're going to write the word worry. All right, and now we're going to think about what does worry mean? So in that story, there were lots of things that she worried about. She worried about things on the playground. She worried that nobody would come to her party. And so those things made her upset. So when you worry, you feel upset. You're anxious. So our meaning is going to be to feel upset. And some of you may worry about things. So your word is worry, and your meaning is to feel upset. So I want you to write this down on your paper. And this is going to be the first word for our vocabulary. So we're going to use a vocabulary journal to help us keep track of all the new words that we're going to learn in kindergarten. This is just one of all the many words that we're going to use. So you can go back to this when you're wondering, what was that word? I want to write about that word. So let's think about that. Why do people write? So I know that I write lists, and some people write stories, and we write to tell each other things like postcards, and those things are all for different purposes. And we are going to talk about writing and how that helps us to become a better reader. So when you learn to read, that also helps you to become a better writer. Let's go. So make sure you have this written down. And then we're going to look at our last slide. Okay. So I want you to think back to our story that we read. And what were some of those things that you noticed and wondered about? And what you're going to do is you're going to get your journal, and on the next page, or actually what I want you to do, not on your journal, on a piece of paper, what we did yesterday with the Wild About books, you're going to do on a different page. And I want you to put a notice and a wonder. And I want you to draw what you noticed in our story and what were some things that you wondered in our story. So draw us a picture and then take a picture of that and upload it into the activity. And I hope that you enjoyed our book today, and we will see you for the next lesson. Bye.